Hello everyone and welcome back to Easy Natural English with Liam. Once again, I've brought back my wife Cassie to join me today. If you remember, she is born and raised in Japan, but she is half American, so she is more familiar with American English and with America than me. So today, I have a list of the top 10 things that the UK does better than America, than the USA, and Cassie is gonna react to these things on this list. So hopefully should be funny, or interesting. Let's see. So
hi guys.
Yeah, I'll let Cassie introduce herself again. I talk too much. Okay, so the first thing on this list, so this list is from a website called Market Watch. If anyone's interested, I just searched on Google and this was one of the top ones that came up. So the first thing on the list is healthcare. What do you think, Cassie? Does the UK do healthcare, as in doctors, nurses, hospitals, looking after people? Does the UK do that better than America?
I think every country does.
Why do you think so?
Well, I think as most people know, healthcare in the United States is extremely expensive and there are a lot of people not covered under insurance. There is no national healthcare system where you can get your health care or checkups for free like there is in the UK. So I would definitely say that the UK's healthcare system is better.
Yeah, so the UK has the NHS, which is the National Health Service. For people who are interested, it's quite famous around the world. In the UK, if you have anything wrong with you, you can go to the hospital and you can get the service for free. It's not working quite as well as it did in the past, but it's still free. Yeah, and it's a good service. So America's not quite the same, is it? So number 2 on the list is roundabouts. Do you know why this list might have roundabouts as number 2?
Oh, meaning that
so
it's the
saying,
second best thing that they do?
Well, it's saying that roundabouts, I don't know if these are in order or not, but it's saying that roundabouts are better than what they have in America, which would just... So America doesn't have roundabouts, right? They don't really have...
I've seen maybe 1 or 2 in like Washington, D.C. and I don't know, maybe like one other state, but I don't really remember seeing them. I don't think that they're very common at all.
And like here in Japan, they don't have them, do they? And I don't think they have them in Japan either. But if you don't know, a roundabout is, so yeah, in America or here in Japan, they'll have like a crossroad instead. And we do have those in the UK. But yeah, they'll have traffic lights maybe or something and people will be driving this way and this way. But a roundabout, you drive on to the roundabout and then you go around and then you take your turning. So the reason this website said roundabouts are better is because they're supposed to be faster. Because nobody has to wait and nobody has to cross each other. So they're a bit difficult for people who are not used to them. But once you get used to them, they should be faster and safer.
There are no traffic lights?
No traffic lights. Some big roundabouts have traffic lights, but usually they don't. Normally you just enter whenever there is space and you drive around and then you take your turning. Yeah, but they have a bit of a system. But once you know the system, they're safer. Do you think America would do better with some roundabouts?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, there you have it. Time to install some roundabouts in America. You heard it here first. Cassie has spoken. So yeah, some of the things on this list are a bit strange, but let's see what else is on here. Number 3 is understatement. And understatement means saying something with less enthusiasm. So an example, I think I've mentioned before, Americans will often say like, this is amazing. And a British person might just say, oh, it's not bad. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, when I first met Liam, actually, because I think I was kind of used to like American enthusiasm. So whenever I would tell him something, I would expect him to be like, oh my God, what? That's amazing. And so whenever he was just like, oh yeah, okay, then I kind of thought that he was not excited about my story, or just that he, I don't know, I didn't think that he like really felt that much emotion about stuff. So, but I did kind of know about like British humor and like the British kind of attitude towards things. So I just got used to it.
Yeah, so I've heard this from Americans before when they tell me something and I say, oh, cool, sounds good. And they ask me like, aren't you excited? And I'm like, yes, I am excited. Can you not see that I'm excited? So yeah, this is quite a British thing. We don't quite show our excitement the same way Americans do. Some people, though, might say Americans can be a bit false or a bit fake. So if a British person is saying, yeah, awesome, then you know they really mean it. They're not just saying it. Sometimes Americans might say it too much. I think so. Queuing. So number 4 is queuing. Apparently we queue better than America, but America won't even use the word queue. What would they say in America?
Get in line.
Yeah, getting in line or standing in line. But in the UK we say queuing up or queuing. So apparently we do it better than America. What do you think?
Yeah, but I don't know if you do it better than Japan.
Oh yeah, Japan has got to be number 1. Yeah. But do you think like people in America are like not queuing? They're just jumping the line or jumping the queue?
I think it depends. I think that if there is like somebody waiting in line, maybe somebody would ask, why are you waiting in line? But I think for the UK, maybe they wouldn't even ask and people would just wait in line. But I do remember, yeah, like some people cutting in line whenever I lived in America. And of course, it's not acceptable. People will get angry about it. But in other countries, people just, they wouldn't cut in line in the first place. It's like a huge no-no, isn't it?
Yeah, in the UK in general compared to America, like Americans often make fun of us and say like, British people are too polite. So in general, I mean, of course we have very rude people too, but in general, British people are supposed to be more polite than Americans. We say please and thank you and sorry all the time. Americans usually say we say it too much. They also say the same thing about Canadians though. They say Canadians and British people are too polite. I don't know if you can be too polite. There's something wrong with that. Tea. Number 5 is tea. That's kind of obvious, really, isn't it? Of course, we do tea better.
Do you know about tea in the United States?
Like, what about it? Like iced tea and stuff?
Yeah. Sweet tea.
Oh, okay.
So in the United States, well, especially in the South, I don't know about the other places, but my family is from the South of the United States. And in that region, they always drink sweet tea. So if you give them tea that's not sweet, they will be like, what is this? Like, this is gross. But yeah, they always put like a lot of sugar in their tea. And then that's what's normal to them. And they drink it cold, iced.
And with no milk.
Oh, no.
With no milk. Yeah, so like iced tea with no milk and lots of sugar. Whereas, yeah, in the UK, tea is usually milk. With milk, it's hot. And it's not sweet, usually. I mean, some people like to put sugar, but probably most people don't have any sugar. But yeah, people always ask you, if they ask you for a cup of tea, they'll say, do you want sugar or not? Milk or sugar, blah, blah, blah. But usually it's milk, no sugar. And it's hot. So yeah, quite different. But it's really good. TV news. So why do you think this is on the list? Why does the UK do news better than America?
I would say American news is very extreme. It's either this party or this party, just very on kind of opposite ends of the spectrum, very political, and I don't know. I guess like in the UK they would have more neutral opinions.
Yeah, in the UK we have a lot of newspapers that I don't like, because we have a lot of newspapers that are very strong in their language. You know, it's like I don't want to even repeat their headlines. They're very strong headlines sometimes. But the news on the TV is pretty neutral usually. BBC would be the main one, and they're fairly neutral. They don't have too strong of an opinion. And if they want to talk about something, they'll have people debating it. But the debate is usually more civil, usually more, calm. But when I watch like American news, I think they want kind of drama. So they purposefully bring people with very extreme opinions, and they'll be shouting at each other. And like some people have said, it feels like they're watching wrestling instead of watching the news. It's quite strong opinions. Number 7 is a kind of strange one, but it's also quite true. Is singing really offensive songs about the other team. So in sports games, football fans in particular, they like to make songs about the other team, and they tend to be offensive, kind of insulting, saying bad things about the other team. They usually have a lot of bad language. So when I say football, I mean what we call football in the UK, soccer. Do people in America do this?
Well, I don't really watch sports that much, but in high school, we would often go to the football games and the American football games, and I would never really hear songs about the other team. It would just always be supporting their home team, but I would never really hear any chants or anything like kind of saying bad stuff about the other team. But I guess in the UK, it's pretty common.
Yeah, the ones in the UK would maybe shock you. Some of them are really horrible, the things they say. But they're usually kind of funny. They're usually a bit witty. Witty means kind of like a kind of clever joke or something. I guess that's kind of a British thing, just making fun of each other. And which is actually similar to number 8. So number 8 on this list, like I said, made by Market Watch. They have some interesting ideas. Number 8 is making fun of France. But America seems to make fun of France a lot too. If there's any French people listening, I'm sorry. I really love France, but I think, a lot of English speakers, I think in America and the UK make fun of France a lot.
I don't really hear people saying anything bad about France.
Oh, okay. Well, I have heard some Americans before. I know.
What did they say?
Well, something that's kind of stupid is they always say like the French military is weak and stuff. Like French always give up in wars and things like that. French didn't want to help George Bush a little while ago when George Bush was trying to fight in the Middle East, and France didn't want to join him. And then a lot of Americans were like, French people are weak and stuff. It's kind of stupid military stuff. You didn't hear any of that? No, maybe you don't watch the news that much. At least you didn't at that time. I think it's kind of ridiculous. But in the UK, I think, people just say like French people are arrogant sometimes. Like they think they go to France. But to be honest, I think it's more the British people's fault, because I think British people go to France, they don't speak French, and they're shouting at people in English. And, French people sometimes quite often don't speak English very well. And maybe it's just a lack of communication. Because I speak French reasonably well. So when I'm in France, I have a really positive experience. Everyone's very friendly and nice to me. And I have lots of French friends. And France is great. Beautiful country, nice food. So it's a bit of a strange list, this one. Okay, anyway, number 9 is accurate price tags. So when you see the price on something, it's accurate, it's correct. Mm-hmm. Why is that on here?
I think a few different reasons is because in America, they don't include the tax with most things. So if you go to a supermarket or any kind of like general store, you'll see the price before tax, which it makes it look cheaper than it's actually going to be. And also, if you go to any kind of restaurants or cafes or something, you probably will have to tip maybe 10-15%. I guess it depends on the state. I'm not really sure. But then, so your check, the total amount will come out to be a lot more than you expected.
Yeah, whereas in the UK, yeah, when you see a price tag, the tax will be included. And also you don't have to tip in the UK. You know, in America, if you go to a restaurant, you get the bill, and then they're going to add the tax after. And then you're going to have to pay like 20% tip, right? In America? You don't know? That's so bad.
No, I just said, it depends on the state.
Oh, okay. But usually 20%. But in the UK, it's usually about 10%, and you don't have to. If you're in a restaurant, like especially a nice restaurant, and the waiter gives you really good service or just decent service, and it's kind of a proper restaurant, then I would probably tip 10%, because the waiter might feel a bit like insulted. If you don't, they might feel a bit like, did I do something wrong? But you don't have to. In America, yeah, they're tipping in bars and cafes and basically everywhere. And in the UK, it's not like that. Even, as you can see, I have some tattoos. One thing I didn't think about when I went to get a tattoo in America, when I was looking online, they said, make sure to tip the tattoo artist. And I thought, well, I'm already paying the tattoo artist.
In hair salons, too.
Yeah, hair salons, too. So if you get your hair cut, basically any service you get in America.
Taxi,
even sometimes mail workers.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Well, a lot of things. So you should check. If you're in America and you're not sure, you should always check, because there are a lot of things that you need to tip for. And because it's such a common culture, if you don't tip, then the worker will feel like, did I do something wrong? Do they not like me, or was my service bad or something? So yeah, they'll feel a little bit like insulted or something. But in the UK, it's not like that. It's basically just restaurants, and only like sort of proper, nice restaurants that we give 10%. Cafes, sometimes we leave a bit of change or something, but cafes usually just have a little jar and you can just drop it in. But that's pretty much it. Not much tipping in the UK. Number 10, I told you it's a bit strange, this list. Number 10 is knowing when to end a show.
Oh.
So do you know why that's on the list?
American TV series kind of last a long time. They keep going because obviously they're going to get paid a lot of money to keep the show going. But they kind of tend to run out of ideas, and then it kind of ruins the plot of the show, I guess. They kind of come up with more, I don't know, like outlandish kind of plots. Mm-hmm. And
like side stories and things.
Yeah, so people tend to not really like that. But I guess in the UK, they finish their shows at a reasonable time.
Yeah, I think it depends on the show. So, I don't know exactly why these people wrote this on the list. But yeah, I guess when I think of comedy shows, they tend to just have a few seasons, and then they'll finish on a high note, maybe 3 seasons, even if it's very popular, 4 seasons, 5, and then just finish. But especially American kind of sitcoms, they'll just keep going and going and going and going. Basically, as long as they're making money, they'll just keep making it. Maybe the UK is starting to become more like that, but yeah, I think traditionally, once they just finish the show, they're just that'll do. I mean, one of the most popular English comedy shows in history is Fawlty Towers. It's a bit old now. It's from 80s, maybe. It's pretty old now. Fawlty Towers with John Cleese. He's one of the Monty Python guys, if you know Monty Python. One of the most popular TV shows in the UK. They always show clips again and again on the TV. It had 1 season with 10 episodes. And it's still...
Only one?
Yeah, only one. Have you seen Fawlty Towers?
I think you showed me.
Oh, okay. It's very funny. Fawlty Towers is very good. You should have a look. There's very British humour. A little bit kind of old British humour now, but it's very funny. But yeah, just 1 season. And it's still one of the most famous comedy shows probably ever. So there you go. Yeah, we don't milk things. We don't drag it out so much. So there we go. That's apparently, according to, what was it called? Market Watch. Apparently that was the 10 things that UK does better than America. Bit of a funny list. Maybe we can have a look for another one sometime. Next time, yeah, it'd be good to try to see which things America does better than the UK. And maybe also because Cassie is from Japan and we're both living in Japan, maybe we can see what things Japan does well as well.
Maybe better than US or UK.
Yeah, there's probably quite a few things. That's why we like living here.
Hello everyone, we have my wife Cassie back again.
Hello.
And today we're going to answer some random questions just to help you hear how native speakers talk with each other. But because we are a couple, we talk all the time. So we are using a random question generator to help us think of some topics to talk about. So let's get into it. Let's see what the first question is. Have you ever saved someone's life? Have you ever saved someone's life?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. That's a big question.
Yeah.
I think my dad has saved my life a couple of times. When I fell out, I almost fell out of a car. I was leaning on a door. You know about this story.
I know this story.
And the door almost opened and my dad grabbed me and pulled me back in the car. And the other time was falling under some ice water. So I was stuck under the ice and my dad pulled me out. So I think my dad has saved me twice, but I haven't saved anyone. You haven't saved anyone?
No, I think I've been a pretty safe person.
So
I don't know if anyone's ever had to save my life either. And I think maybe I'm just not in many dangerous situations, so I haven't really had the opportunity to save someone's life. I have been in some dangerous situations, but I think I'm just lucky that I haven't had to save anyone's life.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see what the next question is. What was the best compliment you've ever received?
What was the best compliment you've ever received?
Well, the first one that comes to mind, it's a very stupid thing, but I was very happy when my roommate told me that I'm good at physical comedy. So physical comedy is like making jokes not just with your voice but with your face and with your body, kind of like Mr. Bean or something. My roommate told me you're good at physical comedy because I like joking. I've been told before you're funny, but actually a lot of people say the best compliments are specific compliments. That's something that's good to remember, isn't it? You know, when you tell someone, oh, you're good at English, for example, they could just be saying that. It doesn't really mean much. But if someone says, your pronunciation is really clear, or your use of present perfect tense is really good. Many students can't do that. You're doing that very well. That sort of feels better. So people tell me sometimes, Liam, you're funny. But when my roommate told me your physical comedy is very good, I felt very flattered. I was like very happy with that.
It's very difficult to answer these questions, I think. I know all of your answers because he talks a lot and he tells me everything. But
I give you a lot of compliments.
Yeah, he always gives me compliments. But
what was the best one?
I don't know. The first thing that came to my mind was actually kind of like it's kind of an embarrassing story because I know that you know this story. And when I was in 8th grade, I liked this boy, and so I asked him out, and I said, "Hey, do you want to be my boyfriend?" And then he just looked at me and he laughed and he said, "No, but that was funny, so you should be a comedian." And I thought it's this thing called like a backhanded compliment, which means that it's something nice, like someone says something nice to you, but in kind of a mean way. There's kind of like a mean meaning behind it. But that was probably the best compliment.
Oh wow!
Because I like it when people compliment me and tell me that I'm funny. I think that's the best compliment that I get.
So both of us kind of think the same thing then, really. Okay, next question. You can read the next question.
Okay. Ooh, what's your favorite piece of clothing you own?
I know you've probably got an answer to this.
Oh, yeah.
Go first. You've probably
maybe
got
I can go get it.
Oh, no. just explain.
Okay. I should have worn it. So I got this shirt. It's from a secondhand store. And it's kind of like a 70s style print. And it's just an overshirt, like a button-up short sleeve overshirt. And it's got a lot of different colors. And the collar is a little bit different. It's not like this short. It's a little bit longer. And you can wear it like in the summertime, but also you can wear it in the wintertime because the material is a little bit thicker. But it's short sleeve. So that's my favorite. What about yours?
My favorite. I don't think I have a favorite. Is there something I wear a lot?
Well, my favorite article of clothing of yours is like the blue. It's kind of, Liam wears a lot of shirts like this.
Yeah, like Hawaiian shirts. I do like Hawaiian shirts a lot.
But the other one is a little bit cooler.
Oh, right. Yeah, I like Hawaiian shirts a lot. Not one particular Hawaiian shirt, but I like Hawaiian shirts because they look a bit smarter than a t-shirt. You know, they have a collar and buttons, so they're a bit smarter than a t-shirt, but they're still very comfortable and loose. And they have a lot of, like, colourful patterns. And, you know, I think that it's a bit more exciting to wear colourful patterns than just wearing, like, boring, you know, one colour or something. So, yeah, I like Hawaiian shirts. Okay, let's see. Next question. You can read this one too.
What's the worst movie you've ever seen?
Well, the worst movie would probably have to be something like The Room.
Oh, yeah.
But it's so bad that it's actually very good. So this movie, it's The Room, isn't it? Not Room. Because I know there's another movie with a similar title.
Oh, wait a minute. Which one?
With, you know, the guy...
Oh!
What's his name? What's his name again? The director?
Michael something? Wait, no.
What is it? I'll put like a picture or something of it here because we're not doing very well at remember. But we've watched it together. Well, we've watched bits of it together. Basically, there's a very famous. We say this movie has a cult following. So a cult following means like a small group of people love it, but most people don't know about it or don't like it or don't care about it. So this movie was made by a guy who wanted to make his own movie. So he directed it, he produced it, he acted in it. Oh, Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, yeah, Tommy Wiseau.
And it's just really bad, but it's so bad that it's actually good. It's actually funny because it's so bad. And that's why it has a big following. And somebody even made a movie about the making of that movie because it has such a big cult following. So yeah, we kind of like bad movies sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's really funny. It's really funny because it's so bad. I thought you were talking about Room, which is...
Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, it's like someone gets stuck in a room or something.
Oh, well, like, it's like...
It's kind of a serious movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a true story where some girl was kidnapped and she had to like stay in a room for a really long time, just one room. And... You know, she like had a baby in there.
Oh god, that sounds horrible. Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about The Room. Yeah, with Tommy Wiseau. I'll put an image to be clear which one I'm talking about.
So my first choice is Old Boy.
Worst movie? That's like my favorite. I think that's like the best movie. You mean like the impact on you?
Yeah.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
It's like after, well, the whole time I was watching this movie, I feel like my face was just like really like grossed out. And
grossed out means like, oh, I think it's disgusting. Or something.
Yeah, it was really difficult to watch because there's like a lot of just horrible things that happen. It's just horrible the whole entire time. But it's really, really good. It's a Korean movie. And it must be kind of like Squid Game. If you've seen Squid Game, it's kind of like it's so gross, but you can't stop watching.
Yeah, Old Boy is actually one of my favorite movies. Like, the director is amazing, the story is amazing. I mean, the director wrote the story, music, everything about it is very good. But the story is like a very horrible story. So yeah, you have to be in a good mood to watch it, because there's like a very kind of sad, kind of disgusting story.
I almost threw up. And after the movie, I think I couldn't speak, and I just thought about that movie and different scenes of the movie, like, I don't know, over and over for about a week. And I still sometimes think about specific scenes in the movie, and I feel like I'm really traumatized by it.
But anyway, it's a good movie. All right, let's have a look at the next question. Favorite city. It's hard to choose a favorite city. I've lived in 9 different countries and visited about 30 countries, so I've been to a lot of cities. At the moment, we live in Kobe in Japan, and we like it here. This is one of my favorite cities. Also, Osaka, next to us, that's one of my favorite cities. It's kind of a hard question. What do you think?
It depends on, like, if you're talking about the beauty of the city, or the environment, or like the mood of the city, I guess.
Also, I think if it's like living or visiting as well.
Yeah, whether you're living or you're visiting. I think the most beautiful city I've been to is Prague. It's called Czechia now, but it used to be called Czech Republic. It was just so beautiful. And maybe for living, I really like living in Kobe. Valencia was a really pretty city, I think, but not so good for living. So this is a difficult question to answer.
Well, Valencia was quite...
I mean, it was good for living, but not for us.
Yeah, I mean, some parts of it. We do miss a lot of things about Valencia.
Really nice park.
Yeah, nice cafes and things. I think in terms of like really beautiful cities, I do like a lot of European cities, because they have like a lot of old buildings and things. Because, Japan, of course, there's a very long history, but many of the buildings in the past were made of wood, and Japan has earthquakes, so a lot of buildings get renewed or renovated, or just knocked down and built again. So there aren't that many old buildings in Japan.
Kyoto has the most old buildings. It's really beautiful. But
even some of the like older buildings, like the other day we went to a heritage site. It's like a heritage site, isn't it? That in Kobe, the what's it called? Ijinka?
Ijinka? Kitano?
Yeah, it's like some old kind of European buildings, but they're only about 100 years old, 200 years old. Whereas, I come from the UK, where you can go into a pub and drink a beer, and that building can be 800 years old. And it's not even treated like a really special building. It's just 800 years old, and we're still using it as a pub. So I'm kind of used to very old buildings. And Europe has a lot of like very old buildings. America, still a very new country. They don't have, very old buildings, or Australia or something. So I think Europe has a lot of like very old buildings. So that's why I like European cities a lot. Like Paris is very beautiful. I think sometimes I visit places and I'm a bit disappointed. I think Paris is not disappointing. I think it's really beautiful.
I thought Chiang Mai was really cool in Thailand. I've been to a lot of different cities in Thailand, but Chiang Mai was probably the coolest city for me. You too?
Yeah, I like Chiang Mai a lot as well, I stayed there for a month. I really like it.
Oh, I did too. Well, maybe 2 months, maybe.
Oh,
I don't remember. Okay, let's go to the next question.
Okay, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? I ask students this question a lot, actually. It's like a good hypothetical question. It's a good question to use your imagination. But yeah, I always ask students, but I never think about my own answer, really.
You know what mine would be? I think about this a lot, and I really wish that it could exist. You know, in video games where you see somebody's like stats, their statistics, like, you know, this is how much power they have, this is their intelligence, this is their like creativity or something like that. I want to be able to see that with humans, like
Okay.
like you
That's
know,
a unique
whenever I meet someone, I want to know what their stats are, like so I don't have to like waste my time like talking to people. I want to know, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But that's a unique answer. I haven't thought of that before or heard anyone else say that before. I think one of mine, if I could have a superpower, would just be like to speak every language would be really cool. I think if you could just speak all languages, because that would have a real practical use that you could actually use in life. Because if you had an ability, you know, I like Star Wars, so I think what's it called, telekinesis, like moving things with your mind would be really cool, like the Jedis do in Star Wars. You know, they can just go, boom, and I could move this computer over there without touching it. That would be cool. But if you use that in your daily life, you know, you'd probably be captured by some scientists and they'd do some experiments on you or something. You know, you couldn't really live a normal life if you were moving things around with your mind. You couldn't really do it in front of other people. But if you could speak all the languages, you know, then it wouldn't be so extraordinary. Because no one would know that you spoke. If someone knew you spoke all the languages, then yeah, maybe you would get a lot of attention, but you would only be speaking one language at a time, so people wouldn't know that you actually had a superpower. So I think that would be cool.
Do you feel like you have a superpower?
That's
you have something that not many people can do? I feel like I can tell when people are lying.
Oh yeah, I think that Cassie's superpower is sort of emotional intelligence. Yeah, being able to...
you can put it that way.
Yeah, being able to understand people's emotions and things, I think, very good. Sometimes she understands my emotions better than I understand myself. You know, like I'm like angry and she's like, Liam, you're angry because of this thing. And I think, oh yeah, I shouldn't be angry. You're right. You know.
I'm right. Yeah, I feel like it's easy to tell when people are lying. Do you feel like you can tell?
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, if I have a superpower, or if I have something that I'm good at, is probably just being motivated, I think. Because
discipline.
Yeah, I like at the moment I'm studying Japanese a lot. You know, I've always been exercising. There's always been things that I've focused on in life, and whenever I want to do something,
anybody can do this, right? And anyone can like exercise and study a language, but Liam does it every single day. As soon as he wakes up and until he goes to sleep, just wake up, study Japanese all day, study Japanese until he goes to sleep, and then the next day is the same. I've never seen one day where he didn't study. So once he said, I'm gonna study Japanese, then since that day, every single day he's been studying Japanese. And this was like
4 years ago.
Yeah. So every day for 4 years. And same with exercise too. Like he does at least a little bit of exercise every single day. And yeah, it's really good because then it motivates me and I feel like I want to like do that too. And so it's easy to have some motivation, but it's difficult to stay disciplined and just continue doing things. So I think that that's his superpower.
Thanks. Yeah, so I just set myself little rules, and maybe this will be a good conclusion for the video. When you're studying English or studying anything, just give yourself rules. So one of my rules is I have to complete my flashcards every day. You know, I use an app for my flashcards to learn Japanese grammar, vocabulary. You know, I have to listen to a few podcasts in Japanese. I have to, you know, watch a video in Japanese. Just sort of have a bit of a quota, like a set amount that I want to do every day. And I think that's important to set these kind of little rules or goals for yourself. Okay, so Cassie, do you have any conclusions? Anything you want to say?
I want to
do you want to promote your podcast?
Promote my podcast. So I've been doing a podcast now for almost 6 months. It was my New Year's resolution for this year was to make a podcast just to help English learners, and it's called Easy Natural English with Cassie. So I just stole his name.
Stole my name.
But I do usually one episode every week, and the episodes are between 20 and 30 minutes usually. And I most of the time just talk about like more like deeper topics, and go into maybe a little bit of psychology, maybe a little bit of like social interaction, like talking with people, like how you can have better conversations, like deeper conversations, rather than only talking about the weather or only talking about some like kind of surface level stuff. So if you're interested in that, please check out my podcast. It's called Easy Natural English with Cassie.
Yeah, you can find it on any podcast app, and I'll put a link down below. But with podcast, it's normally easier just to search the name, because it depends on what app you're using. You know, if I put links, I'll need to put a link for Apple Podcast, a link for Spotify, a link for all the podcast apps. So whatever podcast app you use, just search for Easy Natural English with Cassie. It's easy to remember because it's the same name as my podcast. And it's kind of similar to mine, but she'll be talking about different topics, things that are more interesting for her. And maybe it's a little bit more difficult than mine, do you think?
I don't know.
Maybe
whenever I do say some difficult words, then I will try my best to explain it. And I try to keep it basically like how we were talking today. Mm-hmm. This is how I'm talking in the podcast. So if you were able to understand this, and maybe you want to expand your vocabulary, then the level of my podcast should be good for you.
Okay, well, check it out. And if you haven't listened to my podcast already, then do that as well. Same name, Easy Natural English with Liam, Easy Natural English with Cassie. Thank you all very much for listening today. If this video gets a lot of likes and comments, and it looks like people like this, then we'll do another one like this. So if you liked it, don't forget to like it, to give it click the button there with the thumb, and don't forget to comment, and then we know that you like it, and then we can do another one like this. Or if you have suggestions of another thing you'd like to hear us talk about together, then let us know in the comments and we can do that. So thank you all very much. That's all from me. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Hello everyone, welcome back to Easy Natural English with Cassie and Liam.
Hi guys, so today I've got Cassie here again, and she is going to have a test of British English, particularly British slang, because we've been married for 3 years and we've been together for longer, and being with me, a British guy, she knows a lot of British slang now, but Cassie speaks American English, so she's not really used to everything I say. So today we're going to test her, and it's going to be a test for you as well. We're going to start with easy slang, and then kind of medium level, and then we're going to go to difficult or hard level. I kind of chose the level. It's a bit random, but let's see how it goes. Let's see how many you can get. Try to answer them before I give you the answer and see how many you know. So, okay, we're going to start with easy ones. I know Cassie will know this one. Cassie, what is a cuppa?
It's a cup of tea with probably some milk or sugar.
Yeah, so usually in the UK we drink black tea with milk. In other countries they often call it English breakfast tea, but in the UK we just call it tea or normal tea. And we often just say cuppa because it comes from cup of tea, cuppa tea, cuppa. So we say like, let's have a cuppa, means let's have a cup of tea. Okay, next one also might be a bit easy for Cassie, so just give them a moment to guess first. Next one is bloke. Now, do you guys know what a bloke is? Cassie, do you know what a bloke is?
It's just like some guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so bloke just is a way to say guy, a way to say man. So you can say like, David, yeah, he's a nice bloke. It just means he's a nice guy. Or who's that bloke over there, right? Okay, hopefully some of these will be hard for Cassie as well. I think some of them she doesn't know, but we'll see those ones soon. So the next one is dodgy.
Oh, is it English?
Huh?
I mean, is it like British English?
I thought it was more British. Do Americans say it too? Oh, okay. Apparently Americans say this one too. I thought, okay, well, what does dodgy mean?
Kind of suspicious or sketchy, if you know what that means. It's like something looks a bit strange or a bit off.
Yeah, it means something, looks a little, like Cassie said, suspicious. So maybe like dangerous, or maybe like it makes you feel uncomfortable. So if you see a bloke, if you see a guy and you say, that bloke looks a bit dodgy, it means like maybe he's dangerous or something, a bit scary. Maybe we should be careful. Yeah, he's a bit dodgy. And also like things too. So like a deal or something, you can say that deal sounds a bit dodgy. It means that doesn't sound like a good deal. Maybe they're asking you for too much money or something. But yeah, I thought that one was more British, because Americans usually say like sketchy more, don't they? That guy looks sketchy. Sometimes I think Cassie's forgot because she's got so used to my English that maybe she doesn't know what's kind of normal to her anymore. Okay, but anyway, that's dodgy. It's an important word to remember. Next one we've got is chap. So do you guys know what chap is? What a chap is? I think Cassie knows what a chap is.
I guess it's similar to bloke. Just another guy, but it sounds a bit cuter.
Exactly, yeah. So it's another way to say guy or man, but chap sounds a bit nicer or cuter than bloke. Sometimes, like earlier I said there's a dodgy bloke over there, but we probably wouldn't say dodgy chap, because chap usually sounds a bit kind of kind or friendly, and we say, oh, he's a nice chap. Who's that chap? And it's quite cute. So like if someone has a dog, for example, you say, oh, who's this chap? Yeah, it's like kind of a cute way to say guy. And next one, I know Cassie knows this one now, but a lot of Americans get confused by this one. The word is cheeky. Mm. Can you explain what cheeky means? It's a bit hard to explain.
It's hard to explain. It's a bit like you're gonna do something.
Do something what?
I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, so I'll explain it then. So cheeky is like
okay. So if you don't usually eat McDonald's, but then you go and eat it one day, you can say, today I had a cheeky Macca's.
But why is it McDonald's and not like a salad?
Oh, I guess. Oh, okay. So it's not healthy or not that good for you.
Yeah. So cheeky is it's like similar to naughty. If you know the word naughty, it means like something bad, but not too bad, almost in kind of a funny or a cute way. So Cassie's probably used to me using, let's have a cheeky McDonald's. We often say Macca's. Let's have a cheeky Macca's. And cheeky because McDonald's is not the healthiest food, so it's a little bit naughty, it's a little bit bad, but okay, whatever, let's have it anyway. So yeah, we say like, let's have a cheeky McDonald's. If there's a little kid, little boy or girl who's like a little bit naughty, but in a funny way, a little bit bad, we say like, oh, it's cheeky. And if it's a boy, you can say, oh, a cheeky chappy. Who's this cheeky chap? Or who's this cheeky chappy? Yeah. So yeah, it means kind of like naughty, bad in kind of a funny, cute way. Okay, and this next one, I know Cassie knows what this means, but I want her to tell her story about this, about when she first heard this word.
Oh, is it legend?
Yeah, legend. So, legend is a word that exists in English in general. It means, a legend is like a story from history. We don't know if it's really true or not. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's like just a story. So, for example, like Robin Hood or something is a legend. And then we shorten it to ledge. And we say like, that guy is a ledge. And Cassie was a bit confused when she first heard that someone is a legend. So can you tell them your story?
Mm-hmm. I guess they also say this in Australia because...
that's true. Yeah, a lot of British slang is pretty similar to Australian slang. We speak pretty similarly.
Yeah, I was staying in Hong Kong once, and I met up with some Australian friends of mine, and when I first met this guy, he was like, "Oh, you'll love my roommate. He's a legend," and I was like, "What? He's a legend?" And so I was like, is it okay, like, if I meet him? Or, wow, he must be a really important person. I didn't know what it meant, so I thought that, like, he was some kind of really famous or really important person.
Yeah,
but it's just his roommate.
Yeah, in the UK and Australia, if we say legend, it just means yeah, we like that guy, or he's really funny, or like, yeah, it's fun when he's around. Yeah, he's a legend, that guy. It just means we like him, basically. So yeah, not quite so prestigious, not quite such a big deal. And yeah, we shorten it to ledge. So like, that bloke is a ledge. Okay, next one. I think Cassie knows this one from me saying them. I think when we get into the medium and difficult ones, there'll be some she doesn't know, but you're very good with British slang now. So this one is to nick something. So if I say someone nicked my bike, for example, what does that mean?
To steal.
Yeah, so it means someone's stolen my bike. I say someone has nicked my bike. It means someone has stolen my bike. Okay, loo. Also, I think this one, a lot. If you go to the UK for like longer than a day, you'll probably learn this one. What is a loo? I don't use it that much, actually. Do you know?
It's a toilet.
Yeah, so loo means the toilet. So if you're in the UK and someone says, I need to go to the loo, or can I borrow your loo, or where is the loo? They're talking about the toilet. And also, so for toilet roll, they also might say loo roll. Do you have any loo roll? Means toilet roll. Okay, next one, also Cassie will know this one from me saying it all the time, is knackered. So if I say, work was hard today, I'm knackered. What does that mean?
Really tired.
Yeah, so when you're really tired, we say, oh, I'm knackered. Yeah, it's got a strange spelling, but I'm going to write all of these on the screen anyway. It's got a K at the beginning, knackered. Okay, so now we're on to medium level. I think, again, Cassie might know some of these. Let's see how many you guys know. If you don't feel bad, because, yeah, they're kind of strange words. But if you want to talk to British people or spend time in the UK, you'll definitely need a lot of these. I'm purposefully using ones that people use a lot. I'm not choosing crazy words. These are words people use a lot. So the next one is chuffed. I don't say this that much, but I think you know what it means. And we often say chuffed to bits. So if I give you an example sentence first, I'm chuffed to bits with my new car.
Very happy.
Yeah, very happy. So I'm chuffed. Yeah. Even if we see somebody looking very happy, like we go, oh, what are you so chuffed about? You look chuffed. Yeah, chuffed. I'm chuffed means I'm very happy with something. Normally when you've achieved something or you made a good choice, you made a good decision, like, yeah, so I said earlier, chuffed to bits with my new car means like, oh, I'm really glad I bought this car. That was a good choice. Yeah. Or like, I got a new job. I'm chuffed. Yeah. So it's usually when something good happens to you. Okay. Blighty. I don't use this one much, but maybe you know what it means. So and we often say old blighty. Old is like short version of old, and it just makes something sound familiar to you. So we say like, I'm going back to old blighty next week.
To Britain.
back to the UK. I think this one came from like World War II period or something, but people still use it these days. Old blighty, just kind of when we're joking. It's a way to talk about the UK, especially when we're overseas. British people say like, oh, I'm going back to old blighty, something. So yeah, it means to the UK. Just a funny way to say the UK. Next one, personal favorite of mine. I like this word a lot, and I know Cassie knows what it means, is a plonker. What's a plonker?
This word too. It's kind of like a nice way to say idiot.
Yeah, so it means idiot or like stupid person, but it's a little bit cuter. So, like I have an example sentence here. You left the key at home. What a plonker. So it's kind of a cute way to say to somebody like, you plonker, you made a mistake, even if it's just a little bit funny or something. So yeah, you plonker. Or if you make a mistake yourself, I'm such a plonker. Why did I do that? Yeah, and it's quite a funny sounding word. Okay, this one, I don't use this one. So this one Cassie might not know. What is a gander?
Is it a goose?
Okay, so...
is it right?
No, it's not. It's not a goose. So gander actually, has another meaning in English. I think it means a group of geese or something, doesn't it? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Or
a gaggle is...
Oh, a gaggle. Mm-hmm. Actually, what is a gander then?
Is it a type of bird?
Type of goose? Okay, so there's another meaning for gander. We're not sure about the proper word. But there's also gander in English slang. So as Cassie doesn't know what it means, I'll give her the example sentence and see if she can guess. So take a gander at what this plonker has done.
Oh, look.
Yeah, it means a look. So let's take a gander, or let's have a gander. It means let's have a look. Let's take a look. So like, there's a new cafe. Let's take a gander. Yeah, it means like, let's have a look. Let's inspect it, sort of thing.
I feel like I have heard that before.
Oh yeah. So my example sentence here: take a gander at what this plonker has done. So if your friend makes a mistake and you're calling him a plonker and he's really ruined something, you take a gander at what this plonker has done. You'll sound very British if you say that. Next one, I don't use this one, but I think, there's a lot of British slang I don't use now because I've lived overseas for a long time and people won't understand me if I use all of this, but, a fiver. What's a fiver?
It's just £5.
Yeah, so it's a £5 note. So in the UK, like a lot of countries, we have a 5 and a 10 as a note. We have a £5 note and a £10 note. So a £5 note is called a fiver. And a £10 note is called?
Tenner?
A tenner, yeah, a tenner. So if someone says, do you have a fiver? Do you have a tenner? It means a £5 note or a £10 note, yeah. So for example, please lend me a fiver. Please give me a fiver. Give me £5. Okay, next one, toff. And I do use this one sometimes. Do you remember what a toff is?
I think so. Is it like somebody who's kind of pretentious or... someone,
Yeah, basically you're on the right track. Yeah, so Cassie said pretentious. That might be a bit...
Go to... what's that school?
Oh, like Eton College or something? Yeah. Yeah. So a toff is a negative word for rich person. So also we have this word snob. It's when you see like rich people who perhaps because they've been rich their whole lives, they might think that they're better than everyone else and you kind of feel like they're looking down on you sometimes. And we say, oh, that guy's a toff. He's like driving a sports car, got lots of nice things. Maybe we're just a bit jealous, but we say, he's a toff. So yeah, for example, who's that toff in the suit? Means like, who is that rich person in the suit over there? Yeah. So a bit of a negative word, but it's funny. It's all right. This next word, actually, speaking of negative words, this next word, if you say this word in America, it's a very horrible, very negative word to talk about gay people. So don't use this word in America, but in the UK, it has a very different meaning. So Cassie, in the UK, if someone says,
it's a cigarette.
Yeah, do you have a fag? A fag in the UK means a cigarette. Yeah. So don't use that word around Americans because it's a really horrible word for gay people. But in the UK, it's totally different and it just means cigarette. And I wanted to tell you that one because if you're in the UK, you might have someone ask you, do you have a fag? Because people often just give cigarettes to each other sometimes and they might say, hey mate, Mate means friend. Hey mate, do you have a fag? And they're asking you for a cigarette. Okay, this next one, again, I don't use it much myself, so I don't know if Cassie's going to know it or not. But Cassie, do you know what dosh is?
Is it something to do with food?
Ah, that's nosh. That's food. Nosh with an N is food. That's a bonus one. Dosh, yeah. So I need to make some dosh.
Is it money?
Money, yeah. So dosh means money. Yeah, I need to make some dosh means I need some money. Yeah, my dad uses that one a lot. My dad, when it's my birthday and stuff, my dad often texts me and he says, "I'll send you some dosh for your birthday."
Oh.
Yeah. Next one is a funny one. Legless. What does legless mean?
Legless.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know? Okay, so if I say, "Oh, you see that guy over there?" Well, I see
is
that
it drunk?
That chap. Yeah, drunk.
Oh.
Yeah. That chap is legless. See that chap coming out of the pub? He is legless. So it means someone's very drunk. Really legless means you have no legs. Maybe I'm guessing that it comes from because you can't really walk when you're really drunk. You're kind of falling over a lot. So yeah, we say legless. Oh, I am legless. It means I'm really drunk.
I haven't heard it.
Yeah, it's used quite a lot. If you go to the UK, you'll hear it. Okay, now we're on to hard mode. So I hope you're all ready for this. We'll give you a little bit longer to guess the meaning of these ones. And I tried to find some that Cassie wouldn't know, but it's hard because I'm British and I use a lot, but I'm trying to look for ones that maybe I don't use and she doesn't know. So let's see how many she can get here. Okay, next one. Bee's knees.
Oh, is this British?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think... Do Americans use that too? Bee's knees, really?
Mm-hmm. Means really good or really cool. Right?
Oh, okay. I thought that this was more British. But maybe I'm wrong. Okay, maybe Americans use it too. Okay, well, bee's knees means...
I thought it was really American.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the bee's knees. Oh. No, this is the bee's knees. Yeah, we use it in the UK. Yeah, so bee's knees, it's spelt like bee, the insect, and then knees, like the things in the middle of your legs. But yeah, it means very good. So my example sentence was, this fry-up is the bee's knees. So I put an extra bit of... It's not really slang in the UK, it's a normal word, fry-up. And Cassie, what is a fry-up?
An English breakfast.
Yeah, so in other countries, they call it an English breakfast. It's baked beans, eggs, sausage, bacon, maybe black pudding, maybe some fried bread, maybe hash brown. And yeah, in the UK, it's just called a fry-up. We say, let's have a fry-up. But in other countries, it's usually called an English breakfast. But of course, if you're in England, everything is an English breakfast.
Is bee's knees Cockney rhyming slang?
I don't think so. No, because it's usually... so Cockney rhyming slang is a topic for another video. It's a kind of complicated slang system we have in the UK. And actually, I want to make a video about that one soon. So hang around. If you like this one, yeah, let me know in the comment section. And soon I'll make one about Cockney rhyming slang, which is a whole section of slang that I don't want to get into today. Okay, next one is skint. What does skint mean? Or perhaps I found one she doesn't know. If you guys know this one, then perhaps you're beating Cassie.
Skint?
Skint. Okay.
Is it poor? Is it like you don't have money?
Oh, good job. Did you just guess that?
Yeah.
Wow, good guess. So yeah, for example, I am absolutely skint after last weekend. It means I spent all my money last weekend and now I need some dosh. So something you won't hear a toff say because they have too much money, but yeah, someone who doesn't have much money will say I am skint. Okay, this one I don't think she'll know this one. So offie.
Oh,
do you know this one too? Wow, okay, maybe she listens to me more than I thought. I thought she never listened to me, but I guess this is proof she does listen to me sometimes.
It's like an off-license liquor shop or something?
Mm-hmm, that's right. So it's offie is short for off-license. Off-license liquor shop, like off-license shop. In America, they just call it a liquor store. So it's a place where you can buy alcohol. But I don't know I think the system is a bit different in the UK. So in the UK, off-license... Yeah, traditionally, their main job was to sell alcohol, but actually you can go there and you can buy sweets, and people buy cigarettes, they buy their fags, people buy sweets, maybe some basic goods like bread and milk and stuff. So It's kind of just your general store that's close to your house. So usually like on a corner. So we also call them corner shops because they're usually on a corner. And yeah, you can buy like basic things when you don't want to go all the way to a supermarket. Yeah, we call it an offie. And also sometimes a news agents. So news agents specializes in news, but again, they kind of just sell everything. So if you're in the UK and someone says off license or news agent, they just mean like a small shop, like a kind of convenience, because we don't really have convenience stores in the UK. It's kind of a different system. Okay, Koza. And maybe do you know this one or not? Koza. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Then the hard level, I chose some good words. She doesn't know what a Koza is, yeah. So it's spelled Cozzer. So if I say run, it's the Kozers.
Oh, cops?
Yeah, so Kozers means the police, yeah.
Oh, wasn't there another name for police?
Probably got a few. Cops. Well, so Kozers is a mix of cops and Rosa. Rosa, people don't use it much anymore. Rosa was another slang word for cop, which is police officer. And yeah, Koza. Do we have other? There's quite a lot of words for police in America too. We could probably do a whole video on words for the police, some of them not so nice. But no, Koza is not too bad. It's kind of just a funny word for policeman. No, police officer. Okay, next one. Chinwag.
This is Cockney, I mean, is it?
No, it's not.
No?
It's not Cockney. It's actually got
Laugh.
kind of... Huh? No, it's not laugh. Okay, you don't know this
I
one.
don't know what it is.
Okay, so let's have a chinwag soon.
Oh, a conversation.
Yeah, chinwag means a chat, means a conversation. Usually like, casual conversation with friends or something to catch up, to talk about news and stuff. Chinwag. Yeah, it's not Cockney rhyming slang, it comes from your chin.
I was thinking about bath.
Oh, bubble bath.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about that one in another video. But chin wag is just because, wag means like for example, a dog wags its tail. So if your chin is wagging, it's like you're talking a lot. So like, blah, 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 chin wag. That's where it comes from. Chock-a-block. And I think do you know this one? Oh, really?
Yeah, because you say it all the time.
Oh, do I?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't realize I used this one. So for example, the pub was chock-a-block last night. What does that mean? It means
full, like completely full.
Yeah, full of people. Yeah, the pub was chock-a-block. So just something is full. It can be filled with people. So you can say, yeah, the pub was chock-a-block. The bus was chock-a-block. And you can also use it for things like schedules. You can say my schedule is chock-a-block. It means like I have a lot of appointments today. Yeah, chock-a-block. It's a funny word. What about codswallop? It's a very funny sounding word.
Is it like rubbish?
What does rubbish mean? Because rubbish is also kind of slang in this case.
Well, do you speak codswallop?
Yeah, so you can say, I don't believe you. What a load of codswallop.
What? You're lying.
Yeah, so it means like lies or nonsense or like something that I can't believe. Like that sounds ridiculous. That sounds stupid. I don't believe that. Yeah, so either you're lying or it just sounds like you're making something up. So Cassie said rubbish. So, rubbish is the British word for the stuff you throw into the bin, which is also a British word, into the garbage can, let's say in America, a trash can. So America says garbage, trash. UK, we say rubbish. And in the UK and America, those words can be used to mean lies. So if someone's lying in the UK, we say, that's rubbish. I don't believe you. And in America, Cassie, they say, it's garbage.
I think mostly a bad word.
Huh?
It's like load of...
Oh, yeah, but yeah, okay, no, I don't know that's the bad word, but I mean, like, as opposed to rubbish, you say that's garbage, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's garbage. I don't believe you. That's garbage. Yeah. My good American accent. So yeah, and we say rubbish. Yeah. Cassie's thinking of a bad word that we won't put the bad words in the video.
Maybe you can do a whole video.
Yeah.
Just teaching.
Yeah. I don't want to put too many, too many naughty words in, too many bad words. Okay, minted is the last one.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah, what does that mean?
To have a lot of money.
Oh, okay, good job. So yeah, minted means have a lot of money. So you can say that toff, remember that rich person, that toff must be minted. Yeah, it means he must have a lot of money. I think mint comes from the place where you print the money. Maybe that's where, like in America, you've got the US Mint. It's where you print the money. Maybe that's where the connection is. I don't know. I don't think it's anything to do with the leaf, like with the herb. But yeah, we say minted means someone's got a lot of money. So it's the opposite of skint. Skint means no money. Minted, lots of money. Okay, and that's all of them. So good job. I think you got most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good job. How many did you guys get? Let me know in the comments if you thought these were really difficult or if you knew many of them. Tell me which ones you did know, which ones surprised you. Also tell me if there's some good ones that I didn't think of that you think I should have included in the video. Cassie, do you have any final thoughts about your...
You didn't say bloody.
Ah, yeah. Oh, okay. Bloody. Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't talk about bloody. Bloody is a word actually, yeah, that British people and again Australians and New Zealanders use a lot, and it's just a way to emphasize things, so to make things a bit stronger. So it's not always a bad thing, it can be a good thing too. So if you say, I said earlier, plonker means a bit stupid. If you say you bloody plonker, it just is adding some emphasis. So it doesn't even mean like you're very much a plonker, it just adds a bit of emphasis. So you bloody plonker. And you can also be a good thing. So if you eat a nice fry up, a nice English breakfast, you can say this is bloody lovely. This is bloody delicious. And lovely is also a very British word. It's not exactly slang, but Americans don't really say lovely, do you?
Not really.
No, we say this is bloody lovely. It means this is delicious, really delicious. This is so good, So yeah, okay, that's a good one. Okay, well, that's basically it for today. Thank you all very much for watching. Like I said, I've given you a lot of ideas for comments, so don't forget to comment. Also, subscribe and like. Cassie, do you want to say goodbye?
Bye-bye.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Easy Natural English with Liam. Recently, I did a video with my wife Cassie, and I asked her some questions, and we got a lot of good feedback about this video. People seem to enjoy it. Perhaps I'm boring when I'm by myself, and you would prefer to hear Cassie as well. So today I've brought her back on, and we're going to do another interview, but this time she is going to ask me questions. So Cassie, can you say hello to everybody?
Hey, everybody.
Okay, so Cassie, take it away.
Okay. The first question is, where are you from?
So actually, perhaps I haven't mentioned this much in the podcast or the YouTube before, but I'm from a city called Norwich, which I think you all know I'm from England. Yeah, Norwich is in England, a small city close to London. It's pretty, it's a nice place to take a vacation, so check it out.
Okay, next. What's your daily routine?
This is something perhaps I've spoken a lot about in the podcast, but I'll just say briefly, if you're interested, there's even a podcast episode about routine, so my routine, so check that out for more detail. But I wake up in the morning, I start listening to Japanese podcasts. For those of you who don't know, I'm studying Japanese very hard. So I wake up in the morning, listen to Japanese podcasts, and make coffee for Cassie, who always sleeps a bit longer than I do. Then I make some breakfast, and I eat breakfast, and I spend my whole morning studying Japanese, either listening to Japanese or doing flashcards or reading or something until I start teaching. And then I spend the day teaching, and I try to get in some exercise, some more study, and spend some time with Cassie.
And recently meditation too.
Oh yeah, and yeah, we're meditating. Yeah, if you remember something that I forget, please chime in. Yeah, and we're trying to meditate every day right now, but sometimes we forget.
Okay, next. What's your favorite type of bird?
Oh, that's a very hard question. Because I am actually really interested in wildlife and, yeah, I'm really interested in birds. What's the first bird that comes to mind? It's really hard to choose a favorite. I think grebes are really interesting. That's just the first bird that came to my mind. I don't know if that's my favorite bird, but a grebe is a bird that lives on the rivers. It floats, but it also dives down very deep, and they sort of disappear under water for a long time. It's a very beautiful bird too. So yeah, that's the first bird that came to my mind. Okay. I don't think it's my favorite though. So don't. Yeah, we can talk about birds later. Yeah.
All right. Next question: is a hot dog a sandwich?
I would say no. Perhaps some people. Well, maybe technically it is, but I feel like it's weird to call it a sandwich because it has its own special bread, which is called a hot dog bun, and we don't put anything else in a hot dog bun except hot dogs. So I feel like it has its own category. What do you think?
I think it is.
Oh. Can you give your argument?
Because to me, a sandwich burger can also be a sandwich, and it's in a bun. And to me, like, a sandwich is just two pieces of bread with something in it.
So yeah, this is if we talk technically, but I think most people wouldn't say like, oh, I want to eat a sandwich, and they mean burger or hot dog. They wouldn't mean that. But okay, yeah, interesting question.
Okay, what do you think?
Yeah, comment below. Is a hot dog a sandwich or not?
Next question. What's your favorite album?
This is even harder than the bird question.
I should have let you prepare for that.
Yeah. So yeah, same as last time. All these questions are a surprise. I didn't know what she was going to ask me. So, favorite album, probably. It kind of depends on my mood, but probably something by Tom Waits, maybe, or maybe Skip James. It's a really hard question. Let's say one of the Tom Waits albums for now.
Okay, and who was your biggest musical influence?
My biggest musical influence? Probably Bob Dylan, because when I was younger, I used to listen to like a lot of hip hop, I think I talked about this before actually, but I listened to a lot of hip hop and rock music and kind of angry teenager type music. And then when I discovered Bob Dylan, my music taste really changed. But I think there's a whole podcast, YouTube episode about that, so go back and have a look for that if you're interested.
Okay. What are you gonna get me for my birthday?
A surprise! Next question.
Okay, well, tell me 100 things you like about me. Okay. If you could change one thing about Japan, what would it be?
If I could change one thing about Japan, what would it be? If I answered in a selfish way, so selfish means for my benefit, I would take away all these stupid rules about tattoos. Before I had a gym membership, which was taken away from me just because I have these silly drawings on my arm. So I was going to the gym, I had my membership, I was paying my membership like everyone else. I was even covering my tattoos because of the rules here in Japan. Somebody saw them and they cancelled my contract, and they said I can never come to the gym again, like I'm a dangerous criminal. So I think this is a bit ridiculous. That's if I answered this question in a selfish way. If I wanted to make Japan a nicer place for everybody, I would like to see less overtime, because, I've taught English to many Japanese students and they're all very tired and they're all very stressed because everybody's working too long. So yeah, I would like to see some limits on how long people can work so you can enjoy your life a bit more as well. Okay?
Okay.
What's your favorite ingredient? What's your favorite ingredient to cook with?
That's a hard question, but I guess I would have to say rice because everything goes with rice. No, what?
Besides rice. Besides like a staple thing.
So you mean like a spice or a flavor or something? Or a sauce?
Or, yeah. Or...
What kind of question is this?
Like tomato or...
Oh, like a vegetable or something?
Or, or like coconut or something.
Or coconut? I guess salmon, just because I love salmon. I like salmon anything. Salmon sashimi, salmon sushi, fried salmon, roast salmon, grilled salmon. Probably salmon.
Salmon stew.
Salmon, anything with salmon is good.
Okay, what time is dinner?
What time is dinner? I don't know, 8 o'clock. I finished working at 8, so yeah.
Okay.
Tonight.
That's all the questions.
That's all the questions. Okay. We've still got a couple of minutes left. I usually make it about 10 minutes, so we've run out of questions. Can you think of any other random questions?
Yeah. What's your all-time favorite manga? Manga is comic book.
Yeah, so manga, when we say manga in English, it means Japanese comic, because usually like Batman or Spider-Man is just a comic, but Japan has a very unique style, so we use the Japanese word manga to talk about Japanese comics in English. All-time favorite. That's really hard to choose. For those of you who've been listening for a while, you'll know that I like to study Japanese with comics, with manga. Recently, I've really enjoyed reading Ajin, which is a story about people who can't die. It's kind of sci-fi, action, adventure kind of manga. It's really fun. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I really enjoy Attack on Titan as well. That's the English title. Japanese title is Shingeki no Kyojin. That one's really fun too. How about you? Do you have a favorite manga? No?
No, this is not questions about Cassie. It's questions about Liam.
Oh, okay. So I'm put on the spot.
Next question though.
Oh, you have another one. Okay.
Okay. What is your ultimate goal in life?
Ultimate goal in life is to be happy. I think that's the most important thing. Everything else is secondary. Everything else helps you to be happy. So if you have enough money, you'll be happy. If you have loving friends and family, you'll be happy. If you're fit and healthy, you'll be happy. If you have a lot of hobbies and interests, you'll be happy. So really the ultimate goal is to be happy, and everything else supports that, I think. But I'm already very happy because I have Cassie. Okay. Anyway, today, we're just going to wrap it up there. Comment below if you have any... when I say comment below, I mean on the YouTube. Those of you listening to the podcast version won't be able to comment, but you can come on over to the YouTube version and leave your comments there. Comment with any questions that you have for either of us, or if you have any suggestions about videos that you want us to do together, or videos you just want one of us to do, and we can make that happen. So thank you all for listening today, and we'll see you all back here next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hello everyone, welcome back to Easy Natural English with Liam. Today is a very special episode because we have my wife as a guest.
Hi everyone, my name's Cassie.
So today I'm going to ask Cassie some questions, but she doesn't know what questions I'm going to ask her. So hopefully her answers will sound nice and natural. So as always, we can get better at listening to real English. So we're going to start with a simple question. Cassie, where were you born and raised?
I was born in Okinawa, Japan, and raised here until I was 10 years old, and then we moved to the United States.
Yeah, and now we both live in Okinawa now. So, next question, what is your job?
I'm an English teacher.
That's it. Okay, same as me, very short. Third question, what book are you reading at the moment?
I'm reading a book by Carl Sagan. It's called Candlelight in the Dark or something. I don't really
Something
remember.
like that.
But Carl Sagan is a famous scientist, and this book is about being rational and thinking logically.
So like thinking in a scientific way. Okay, next question is maybe more interesting. So, would you rather be a cat or a dog? And why?
Definitely a cat. Because I feel like I'm already kind of a cat. I like to sleep, and
that's true.
They just kind of sleep and eat and
yep, sounds
play.
like you.
That's it.
No, that's not true. She's also very productive. She does lots of things, but but she does like sleeping. Okay. Maybe the most interesting question that you have all been waiting to hear. What do you like about me?
Oh
pass. No. I hope she has something to say. What do you like about Liam from Easy Natural English with Liam?
Trademark. I like this guy because he's very optimistic, and
optimistic means thinking positively.
And he motivates me to be a better version of myself every day, and he's very funny.
Whoa. This is good stuff. Okay, that's enough. Before my head gets too big. Sounds good. So, next question. What was the best trip that you have been on? Where is like your best vacation or travel experience?
Well, that's a difficult one.
Okay, so just one of them. What's
just
the first one that comes to mind?
Okay. The first one that usually always comes to mind is Prague in the Czech Republic. It's just a very, very beautiful city, and I have a lot of good memories there.
You made a lot of friends.
I drank a lot of beer.
Oh my god! Yeah, so Czech Republic, famous for its beer. Okay, question number 7. What have you been doing during self-isolation or quarantine? So, at the moment we're all staying at home, I hope so, because of the coronavirus situation. So what have you been doing during this time?
I've gotten a lot of different interests and hobbies recently because of this time during self-quarantine or self-isolation. Things like taking care of houseplants. I've never had the opportunity to have plants before because I was always moving. So now we're here in Okinawa for good. So I'm able to have some little houseplant babies. And reading, studying languages just like you guys, and petting my cats all the time. That's it.
Yeah. Maybe you can hear the cats now. I can hear one of the cats meowing. I think they want some attention, but we are recording this, so afterwards we can play with the cats again. Hopefully they'll be quiet. Yeah, okay. Question number 8. Who was the first president of the USA?
George Washington.
Was it? Actually, I don't know, because, I'm British. I didn't know that. So now I know. Thank you. Question...
That's not an excuse. There's so many... Most people know that.
Okay, well, I didn't. If you did, comment below and you can tell me that you're smarter than me. I didn't know. What's your favorite food that I cook? Come on, I hope there's something. Don't say cereal.
It's not pancakes.
What? My pancakes are good. You say you like my pancakes usually.
I think my favorite food that you cook is, because I have a good memory attached to this, is like a coconut curry. Because when we first met, I think one of the first times anybody has ever really cooked for me is this coconut curry, and he put like sweet potato and a lot of different vegetables in it, and it was so good. And I just remember feeling like, wow, he can do so many things.
Well, I think it was a very simple curry, but I'm happy to hear that it had such a big impact. I'd actually heard that before. There was maybe no surprise. Next question. What's your favorite food that you cook?
I don't really like cooking that as much as I like baking. So I definitely bake a lot of cookies. Usually I just give away the cookies because if I keep them here, I'm just gonna eat all of them, and then it just wouldn't be that healthy. But yeah, probably cookies.
Yeah, she's been baking a lot actually during this
self-quarantine that's another thing that I've been doing.
Yeah, that's one of the things you're doing most actually, and you forgot. Yeah, you've been doing a lot of baking. Okay, question, I think it's number 11. Doesn't really matter the order. Question number 11. What is your biggest fear? So fear, if you don't know, is something you are scared of. So what are you most scared of? What's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is snails.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I just really don't like them. If you don't know what a snail is, I don't even like talking about it.
Yeah, snails are the things that move along the ground with no legs, and they have a big shell, and they move very slowly, and they're kind of slimy. Yeah, see, she doesn't even like hearing about snails. This is a bit of a phobia, what people call a phobia. It's when you're really scared of something for no real reason. So she really hates snails. So let's change the topic. Okay, so this last question is maybe the most difficult question. Hopefully it's an interesting question. So for those of you who are paying attention, yeah, Cassie is half Japanese and half American. So do you feel more Japanese or more American? That's a difficult question. And it could be neither.
Yeah, neither. I would choose neither. Because when I go to America, I don't feel like I have the same kind of like base personality that most American people do. And in Japan, it's very homogenous, which means that it's just kind of one race of people.
Yeah, all the same type. Yeah, all the same ethnicity or race of people.
Same ethnicity. And being most people that are half Japanese and half a different ethnicity feel the same way, where they don't really feel that accepted by Japanese people. Of course, everyone's different. But sometimes, you just want to feel like a normal person and people treat you the same way.
Yeah, like maybe you don't want to be special. Maybe some people think, wow, being special would be nice, but yeah, when people treat you differently every day, perhaps it gets tiring.
Yeah. So, yeah, my answer is neither. I feel like there's a new term called I don't know if it's new, it's called third culture kid. And I feel more like I identify with this, where you don't really belong to one specific culture. And yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, so it's not the first culture, it's not your second culture, but the third one. So maybe you're another one. Maybe... Yeah, some people say citizen of the world, but it sounds very cheesy. Yeah, cheesy means like it doesn't sound cool. Maybe some of you think it's cool. Anyway, that was yeah, I can be cheesy sometimes, especially with my jokes, but my regular listeners will know that already. So yeah, that is all our questions for today. So yeah, Cassie, like me, works on italki. So do you know what your italki address is?
No, I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out, and I'll put it in the link to this video, so then you can find me or Cassie on italki to take lessons with either of us. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more of Cassie, then put it in the comments below. Say, Liam, we're bored of you. We hear too much about you, Liam.
Tell him how uncool he is.
We want to hear more from Cassie. And if you have questions for Cassie, then please put them in the comments as well. And then if we get enough questions, I can do another video or another podcast episode like this, and I can ask her your questions next time. So those listening to the podcast, you can't comment on the podcast, so you'll have to come onto the YouTube version of this and put your comments there. So thank you to all of you for listening, whether you're on the podcast or the YouTube. I will see you all back here next time, and maybe Cassie will as well. So comment if you want her to come back. Nah, I'm interesting enough, right? Just me, I'll do.
Just me.
Okay, see you all next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.